Hey everyone, hope your week is going well. I'm back with you today to give you guys some more pointers to help you along your journey to recovery and to help you make sense of everything that's going on with your back pain. So today what we're going to be talking about is pushing through pain. Now the reason we're going to talk about this is because a lot of patients feel that they're supposed to push through their pain to get to the other side, the side of pain reduction. We've got to break through that barrier, and when we get to the other side, that's where we're going to feel good. And we've got to suffer along the way to get there. There's that kind of no pain, no gain that I think some patients have kind of inherited from almost like an exercise thing. We've kind of transferred that thought process over to spinal rehab, back pain recovery, and that's not, unfortunately, it's not really the case. It's not no pain, no gain. It doesn't really apply to us. I'm not sure why people have this mindset or where it comes from, but it's definitely not one that's going to help you to reduce your overall pain levels, because it's almost like chucking wood on a fire and then expecting the fire to calm down. It's basically you're doing the opposite of what you need. So when we talk about pain in scientific terms, we say that pain is our nervous system's measure of threat. So the more threat we give our nervous system, the more that our pain will be likely to happen or to increase. So if we just repetitively push ourselves beyond our limits and into painful positions, it's something that's going to increase the amount of threat that our nervous system detects, because we're doing something that it doesn't want us to do, right? We're doing something it doesn't feel ready for. So what we need to do is temporarily remove the threat and then gradually increase the movement or the position, our exposure to that, in such a way that we don't overload the system with threat and then set off the pain again. So it's got to be really, really gradual, really, really progressive, nice and slow, like 1% increase at a time. Now, this is kind of like where, on a kind of, as an example, when I was at school, I remember learning about the Roman Empire, and we learned about Roman emperors who would microdose themselves with poison from snakes. So that's like taking a tiny amount, right? And what they would do is they'd do that, and then they would increase the amount slightly, then increase the amount, and increase the amount, up to the point where they could then be bitten by a snake, but nothing would happen. They wouldn't die, okay? So when we rehab people, we're progressively introducing movements that their nervous systems used to find threatening and used to cause pain, but we're doing it at such a low dose or in such a way that it doesn't set off the pain. And then what we do is we just progressively challenge that person's nervous system more over time until that person can do everything they need to without setting off their back pain again. Okay? Now, one thing that I do want to make clear along that journey is it is completely normal to have a little bit of discomfort when you're doing your back pain rehab. It's not going to be something that is just perfect all the time. You're not going to be like, I'm going to exercise today, I don't have any pain, I don't have any pain afterwards. It doesn't go like that, all right? The guidance that we give people in the spinal recovery program is that you shouldn't experience more than about 3 or 4 out of 10 discomfort when you're exercising. Any more than that, and that is subjective to each individual person, and you're potentially going to set off your body's protective response, and then pain is then likely to follow that. So we've got to keep that down, about 3 or 4 out of 10. So a bit of discomfort is fine, but we're not looking for it to become like a noticeable pain. All right. So if you're doing an exercise and you're thinking, yeah, this is more than 4 out of 10, the thing you need to do is change the exercise so that you simplify it. If you've made it simpler and you still get that same level of discomfort, maybe chuck that exercise to the side for the moment and do something else. All right. So we just want to make sure that what we're doing is bringing that discomfort you're feeling down from above a 4 out of 10 to 4 out of 10 or below. All right. So, I mean, if you're constantly pushing through pain, what you're actually doing is you're constantly working beyond your circle of function. So you've reached, say the Goldilocks zone is there, you've reached it, and then you've gone past it. And we know from how we talked about before, if you're constantly working outside your circle of function, you're not allowing your body to adapt to what you want it to do. All right. So, as we've talked about before, it's not necessarily going to be that helpful to do that, okay? If you haven't seen the Circle of Function video, the ideal thing would be to go back now and watch that. So what we're basically saying is that if you're exercising and you're pushing through pain and it's really uncomfortable, you just got to simply rein it in a little bit, change things up, make them simplify it, cheat. You know, find an exercise you think, how can I simplify this? Oh, I'll just cheat, I'll do this, and it's not painful. It brings it to 4 out of 10 or below. Perfect. That's what we're after. What you'll find is as you bring that down, you'll hit the Goldilocks zone, and then your recovery is just going to jump up. All right, you're going to do so much better. Now, one final thing that I would add is that pushing through pain is not always bad. Okay, it's not like 100% stone cold rule. All right, stone cold rule. It's not set in stone. That's what I mean. It's not set in stone. But actually knowing when is okay to push and not is a really difficult thing. Like I get it wrong a lot, and I know Sam and Benny have got it wrong quite a few times. It's about finding that right level of challenge, and sometimes you have discomfort, but pushing right through it and you get it and you're feeling really good. But that becomes more challenging when you don't have the kind of background or education within pain that we have. So trying to do it on your own, it's best to just simply follow the rules that we've laid out, because that way you're going to get a much more predictable result, and you're going to do a lot better, and you're going to get rid of your back pain. All right. So that's it for today. It's just a short one, but this is still a vital one to recovery nonetheless. So comment your questions below. Let me know how you're getting on. I love to interact with you guys. Feel free to send me a message if you need some help with anything, or if you just want to tell me to get a haircut or whatever. That's fine. I will catch up with you guys again later in the week.